And now for something completely different.
All right, Metal-O-Maniacs, coming up next. Something very special, as I'm super pleased to be joined by my new friend out of Germany here. What's up, my friend? How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. So happy to be joined by you, man. Out of Godslave, of course, man, and just killing it. Holy shit. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, I guess let's kick it right off to start things. Introduce yourselves to all of our Metal-O-Maniacs out there, my friend.
Hi, Metal-O-Maniacs. I am Manni from Godslave. I play lead guitar in this wonderful thrash metal band from Southwest Germany. We consider ourselves a melodic thrash metal band, and we embody a straightly positive attitude towards things. That's the thing about us, because usually in thrash metal you've got the energy, you've got the aggression, and you've got the sentiment of tear it down, destroy everything sucks. But we wanted to go a step further and ask, okay, maybe everything is shit, but maybe you can use that aggression and energy to build something else back up which suits you better. And that's, I think, a way people should consider.
Well, I think you nailed it, actually. It is a step further. I'm a thrash head by heart. I always have been all my life. It's in my blood. It's in my DNA. But I think you're exactly right. A lot of us do take that positive. It's a negative message often. You're exactly right. But I think a lot of us take it as an impetus for change, hopefully, at least. You know what I mean? And you do exactly that. You do take that a step further. You do put that out there like, man, let's be an instrument for a rebuild instead of a fucking part of what tears things down. And I actually love that element to Godslave, sir.
It's a kind of a helping way to help you help yourself, because in the end, change can only come from you.
That's right, brother. If we all change a little bit in here, maybe it'll have a global effect, right? I mean,
yeah, a wise man once said, be the change you want to see in the world, if I can remember correctly. But I'm not saying the other way of doing things is inherently wrong. That's a super charming thing about thrash metal, and that's absolutely okay in its own right.
For sure. But hey, Godslave has its own voice out there, and I appreciate and love it, my friend.
Yeah, I'm glad, really glad.
Well, and let's take it from the top. This voice is, you guys been around for a minute. You know, Bound by Chains was the full 13 years ago, sir. Do you realize that?
Yeah, I realized that. I wasn't even part of the band back then.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, how things change. But I've been around since the beginnings with the guys, because they needed a backup musician, because they wanted to do this band thing properly. And they approached me and said, yeah, you helped out with our other band, Icon, and we know what you can do. Would you consider being a replacement musician if anything goes wrong and calls for replacement? I said, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that.
Well, man, let me tell you something. I'm glad you did, because not only is a positive message that something that makes Godslave stand alone and stand apart from me, but holy shit, solos, brother. Good God. You guys are not afraid to throw some solos around in your songs, man. And I love you for that, brother.
Oh, thanks, man. You can't imagine how glad I am to hear that.
Oh, I spent 10 years as a metalhead bitching at people saying, you know, I feel like from like 2000 to 2010, I was asking everybody, where the fuck did the solos go? Yeah, some of this new metal shit's not terrible necessarily, but where the fuck does anybody play guitar anymore? And man, I thank the metal stars, I guess, that solos are back, and good Lord, this embraces that. This, you know, you guys completely embrace. You got solo after solo after. Let's bang it with another one, and give me more, man. Never stop that, please.
Yeah, I can't deny my European metal influences. You know, all bands like Blind Guardian and Halloween and stuff. And there's all about melody and you know, actually doing something with the instrument you're gifted with, and that's always something I wanted to do. Yeah, the early 2000s had their charm in, okay, let's you know, settle the horse up the other way around and not play any solos. But you know, it's missing something, because it's the ultimate expression as an instrumentalist is playing a solo, and that's just a thing that shouldn't be missed, I think.
I could not agree more. In fact, integral to thrash as a genre specifically, if I might. You know, it's very much, it's almost necessary. It's a, you know, it's, I'm hard pressed to call something a thrash release without that element. You know what I mean? Do you agree?
Yeah, I absolutely get that.
I mean, we're built on riffs and we're built on guitars, and you know, granted, the words and the lyrics and all that's great, and it's a part of our imagery, and we'll get to your art, as a matter of fact, in just a moment, because that's another element. But for it to be a solid product, especially again for metal, you know, do whatever you want in your pop world. Who cares? We don't care about that shit. But when it comes to metal, you got to bring the guitar in particular, you know, and you got to bring the solos with it, man. And holy crap. Tell me, was that your approach? Did you guys get together and like, man, we're going to solo the fuck out of this album? Yeah.
No, we actually don't get together in this sense. Like we're a band playing in rehearsal room and writing our songs. Our approach is a little different. I write most of the stuff, like 65% of the stuff I'm writing at home in my little home studio here.
Right.
I flesh out the complete songs to about, I don't know, 85% or something. And then when I consider this stuff good enough, and I'm like doing party to this, I say, okay, that's good enough to show the other guys. Mika did the other 40% of the songwriting, and then Bernie, or band manager, band head, if you want to call him that, focused mainly on the lyrical and vocal lines of the album, because this time around usually he brings in songs ideas, but this time, you know, this album was ass backwards all the way in every imaginable way. You know, the pandemic situation and stuff, we couldn't rehearse properly, and so, you know, I'm good at this production stuff and pre-production stuff, and so that's why I bring in my knowledge and, you know, do the pre-production of the album, did the vocal pre-production with our singer, which happened actually exactly a week before I was scheduled to hit the studio and record the guitar tracks.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, that's and so I don't start out with solos. It just happens. I do reserve a spot for solo, of course, because, you know, that's ultimately my ultimate way of expressing my musical identity. And so that's I mostly start out on riffs basically. That's the old school way of writing songs in thrash metal. Like Schmier put it in an interview lately, it's got to be about the riffs. And so I write riffs and I feel inspired, and then I think, okay, what could fit that riff? And then I write another riff, and then I think, that might be fitting for a chorus, like a big chorus, less riff, more melody and stuff. And so the thing just grows. And then when it comes to solos, you know, there's guitarists out there who I really admire, who know exactly what they're doing and what they want to hear. They visualize that in their head, and then they play the shit. But I'm really not that good at improvising. So it's basically kind of orchestrating work. You know, I sit there, I've got the ideas, and then I maybe like this, maybe like that. Maybe there's 15 minutes of noodling around on a fucking pentatonic or something, and I think, that's shit, no one's gonna listen to that. And so I try to write the song within a song, you know. That's the approach I have to go with, because I'm just not good at improvising awesome solos. I'm good at writing solos, but I'm a bit unspontaneous in that way, I would say.
Well, everybody has their own organic approach, right? I love everything about it. I love the approach. I love the lyrical content. I love I'm going to fuss over the solos every time we speak, honestly, because that's a big thing for me. And I love what this brings. But let's talk a little bit about the artwork too, man. I see you have the background artwork for the new album, which I think is fucking awesome. It's through some of the video stuff you've released so far. Who did the art on the new album?
The artwork on the new album was an East European guy called Seeming Watcher. I don't know if he's exactly from the Ukraine or from Russia. I just know Eastern Europe, but doesn't matter where he comes from. The artwork is fucking killer.
It is killer.
So you recognize our mascot, Horst?
Yes, sir.
Which has been with us the first album, actually, the Bound by Chains. The Bound by Chains artwork was done by a Swedish guy called Jim Svanberg, and that was a painting of his, inspired actually by the song "Sell My Heart for Stones" by Nevermore, and the album title, the title of this art was called "Sell My Heart for Stones," and that was the artwork the guys found when they made the first album, and they said, yeah, this is cool. And so they got in touch with Jim, and so Jim did the artwork for the second outing, the EP Out of the Ashes, and from then on it's a horse to spin on every major release, and he grows as the band does grow. He's kind of the visualization of our development as a band. You know, he's got all the scars, he's constantly developing, he's in shit there, he's in shit this way, and you know, if we have to suffer through it, so can Horst. And,
that's right.
And if you look at him now, his mouth is opening up. He always had a shut mouth, and now he found his voice. He's got his literal demons behind of him, and he's ready to charge right into the future. And that's where we are now.
Fuck yeah. So after being reborn again in 2018, now positive aggressive time.
Positive aggressive, exactly.
I love it, man. Come out into the world. It's summertime now. The sun is shining. We're getting the heat. And, you know, July 23rd is the official release date of Positive Aggressive. I believe this will be a huge part of that. A huge part of at least my return to the world is going to be you, my friend. It's going to be this jams. It's going to be this album. It's going to be the positive message overladen with a bunch of kick-ass solos, man. That's what I call summertime. I'm ready.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Fuck yeah. You're going to be a soundtrack to my breaking shit all summer long.
It's awesome. You know, this is the first time we have a reach like this with an album, because we were, you know, just grinding Germany, if you want to look at it that way. And now we signed with Metalville. They opened the doors to the world to us, in a sense. It's so awesome. I never thought I'd do an American interview with my German metal band. You know, this is kind of surreal, but it always cool as fuck. And I really dig it.
I fucking dig it. I am a fan, brother. I'm a fan of you, sir, for sure. As long as it's aggressive, that's the important part.
Yeah, can't have thrash metal without aggression. Definitely
right,
not.
Brother.
But you know, the way you channel the aggression and the way you use this aggression can make all the difference in the world. Because at the end, if you tear something down, you're left with something torn down. If you're not going to build anything up, you know, why tear it down in the first place?
A wise man once told me that everything is on its way to becoming rubble. Do you want to be buried underneath of it or standing on top of it when it becomes that? And I think that encapsulates Godslave's message to people, man. Be on top of the rubble, stand above it.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better. This is awesome, really.
I love you, sir. I am a fan. I'm not just the idiot that does the show. I'm a fan of you, my friend, for sure.
I can tell. I'm really proud of that.
Well, so let's play a song for everybody then. If they're not already fans, let's make them know that they have to be one, and let's give them a song as proof. What should we play for everybody? Should we go from Driven, which is a badass song? It's a little newer, or Straight Fire? You know, Straight Fire Zone, man. I'm telling you, I'm leaning there just again because I start my coffee with it every day, but I'm going to let you decide.
Yeah, let's give the people an anthem.
Let's do it.
Let's go with Straight Fire Zone. Hey guys, this is Manni from Godslave, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt and Scully.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Treat a person as he is, and he will remain as he is. Treat a person as if he were what he could be and should be, and he will become what he could be and should be.